Hi, and welcome to the Langley Connection. This is the show where health meets community, brought to you by Langley Health Services. We'll be sharing helpful tips, expert insights, and stories that matter to you and your family. Thank you for listening. We're excited to connect with you. Welcome everyone to the Langley Connection. We're back for another episode, and joining us today we have Wendi with E3 Family. So thank you, Wendi, for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So let's go ahead and kind of talk about E3 Family Solutions. When was it founded? When did it start? Kind of tell us a little bit of background of that.
So our executive director is our founder, and her name is Darla Huddleston. And in 2010, she started it. She was kind of a one-man show for a few years with her directors. She really worked so hard building this organization from the ground up. She had a daughter that was in high school, and she just really wanted to have some safeguards in place for her. And so that kind of segues into what E3 does, which is we're a primary prevention program. So our goal is to try to equip students before they make poor choices, while also letting them know, because unfortunately kids do get into things that you don't want them to, letting them know that they have the option to go in a different direction if they have already made those, that there's always room for change. But ideally, of course, we want kids to know about the dangers that are out there, whether it's drugs, alcohol, vaping, sexual activity. STDs are a tremendous risk for these young people. And there are so many other factors that fall into their lives whenever they get caught up in these risky behaviors. And so the goal is to give them evidence-based curriculum to let them know, first off, the dangers that are out there and how it could really change the trajectory of their lives. We want them to be able to have some safeguards in place. And at some point, these kids are going to have to make those choices. Absolutely. As parents or grandparents, teachers, community members, we're not going to be there. There's going to come a point where they have to decide. And so we want them to understand that their choices have consequences. Mm-hmm. And that it's really on them. So one of our programs that we do is called Equipping Youth. And the goal in that is to equip them with that information. Okay.
And so I think you're going to touch base on it, but the E3, so there's 3 E's. Mm-hmm. What do those 3 E's stand for?
Oh, you would ask me that. Yeah. It is equipping youth, empowering parents, and encouraging communities.
Okay.
And so we talked about the first one, which is equipping youth, empowering parents. We have parenting classes that we do. We do cover the court-mandated parenting classes that some parents are required to attend. We do those. But we also have parenting classes on a volunteer basis. We've also been able to partner with Teen Court, and we're doing parenting classes with some of those parents whose kids have been assigned to Teen Court, just to kind of, help build maybe some parenting skills and also awareness to let them know what these kids are up against, because, unfortunately they are up against a lot. And then encouraging communities, that's when we are going out doing things like partnering with Langley at their back to school bash. Absolutely. And so Langley has done such a phenomenal job of hosting that, of really, spearheading that initiative. And it has been amazing to see that grow over the years. And so I know E3 is happy to be a part of that, and working alongside you guys and to encourage our communities and let them know that people are here to help them and to share resources. So that's...
I think, the biggest thing you're talking about, community-based, it takes a village. It's not just one community. It's not one organization. It takes a village. So it takes all of us partnering together to make these big impacts. And it takes, Langley, E3, parents, the kids, the teachers. Like you said, it's multitude of people. So tell us, is E3, is it just kindergarten through 12th grade, or is it just middle school, or is it every grade?
So the Equipping Youth program is middle and high school students, and so we are in every middle and high school in Sumter County, fortunately, and we are not serving every grade, but we are serving multiple grades. We do have some initiatives through Sumter CAP, which falls under the umbrella of E3, and she's able to go into the elementary schools as well. Miss Roseanne Grady is our coordinator for that, and we've got some great initiatives through her going into the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools.
Great. So on top of that, are y'all serving multiple counties or just Sumter County?
We're in Lake, Sumter, and Hernando counties.
Wow.
And so we are very busy.
I can imagine.
Very busy.
I can imagine. I remember before this we were talking about, it started with one person, and then now it's grown to how many is part of your group now?
I think we've got 17 employees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hate to see that we have to have these programs, but I'm glad to see that we do have someone to help with these and help our kids and help our parents as well, because that's also half the battle kind of going from there.
Well, our executive director said when she started this, her goal was to kind of safeguard the kids, but also to be able to help at-risk youth. That was her main goal. And what she has found is in today's society with access to the internet and all of the social media platforms, that they're all at risk. It really, there's socioeconomic factors and two-parent households, one-parent household, where you live, it doesn't matter as much because generally speaking, most everyone has access to the internet. And so because of that, yes, we have a lot more resources in one sense, but there's also a lot more dangers that are out there. And so human trafficking is another big initiative that we've really worked towards prevention in. And it's just scary because, we often think that with that, it is, the white van in the parking lot. And they're going to grab and throw you in. And unfortunately, the majority of it is starting online.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people think, I live in a small town,
right.
And we talk about Sumter County, and at one time it was a lot smaller, and we're growing quite a bit, but it doesn't happen in my small town, and it does.
It absolutely does.
Unfortunately, and I've heard a lot of that, it's sometimes its own family members that are doing it. Yeah. But I think it's great that we're bringing awareness to that and make sure that we have resources to help those kids and those parents that might experience that or to prevent that as well.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about, you talked a little bit about the back-to-school bashes and Laura Vickers, and again, that's something that, it takes a community to do, and it takes all of our partners to do. Yes, Langley Health Services is the main source and the main person to put it on, but it takes E3 and multiple organizations to help put that on. So I think it's huge for E3 to come help us as well, but also we can touch base with those kids. So you can kind of tell us a little bit about how that can help E3 and help the kids as well.
Well, I think even just letting the community, those are great community outlets to let parents know about the resources that are there for them. So when Langley hosts Laura Vickers or the Back to School, and you have multiple vendors of community partners, these are people that parents and kids are realizing that they can go to when they have a need. So that, when they come through my line, I can say, hey, would you like to sign up for our parent resource letter? And if they'd like to, they can sign up for it, letting them know what we do. We're going to have a pamphlet to let them know about what's available to them. And so by, Langley hosting that, it opens up the community to the resources available. And it allows the community member or the partners, the community partners, to be able to reach those that are in need. And
Absolutely.
That's great because something like those two events, which I know are huge events for Langley, that's pulling a demographic of community members that definitely have a need, and we want those resources to get to them.
No, 100% agree with that.
And it definitely takes a village.
It does. So on top of E3, we were just talking about this before, it's not new anymore. So you've been here getting closer to the 2-year mark as our board member. So tell us, how did you become, well, I guess we'll kind of go in this too. You were in Sumter County. You've been a Sumter County resident. We talked about that too before. 5 generations?
Yeah.
5 generations.
I'm a 5th generation Sumter County girl from the big town of Webster.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit how you got involved in Langley Health Services as a board member, and then kind of tell us a little bit about, I guess, Langley growing as well.
So actually, I have come to Langley personally. I brought my children here to pediatrics many years ago, starting my oldest daughter is 30, amazingly enough. I can't believe that. It goes by so fast. And she came here when she was a baby, and all my children came here for pediatrics. And my mom was actually a board member here for almost 30 years. Wow. And so it was commonly, a household thing. Yes. My mom was, coming to board meetings and talking about Langley, and we always knew, what was going on. And it has been amazing to see, just as a community member, how Langley has grown over the years and expanded. And then I'm actually coming up on 3 years,
3 years. That's
in
right.
October.
That's right.
And as a board member myself, and I just believe in what Langley's doing. I believe in the mission, and I think they are effective. And it's exciting to see even the growth in the last 3 years. Absolutely. You kind of get to peek behind the curtain as a board member and kind of see the inner workings. And can I just say, there is so much work going on behind the scenes. It has been amazing. I kind of didn't know exactly what I was signing up for. It's a lot, and it's so appreciated. And I don't know that people realize what it takes to really keep everything going. But it's a fantastic team here. It's been amazing to see.
100% agree with that. So, we talk about board member, and a lot of people might not know exactly what a board member is. Or let's just talk about a Langley board member. Can you kind of explain what is involved to becoming a Langley board member and what board members do at Langley?
So I had to submit an application. I had someone reach out and say they had, we're looking to fill a board position, and would I be interested? And I was already in the community at a lot of community meetings, and so things like that tend to get your face out there. Yes. And so they're like, oh. And then being from here, I knew a lot of people already on the board. And so whenever I was approached about joining, they have an application, and then they have interviews. I believe I had 2 different interviews, and then I joined. And you receive, we have monthly meetings. We receive packets that of just a lot of information to review and to make sure. First off, I think quality control. Absolutely. I love seeing the accountability of each of the departments and, what's happening, what's going on behind the scenes, and, changes maybe that need to be made or that they're looking to make. And it's really just oversight on that. A lot of transparency, which I really like. I think it's so important, and a lot of support throughout Langley. I noticed all the way down, if there's an issue with this department, they're looking at how they can kind of counter that and share the weight in other departments. And there's different ebbs and flows in the healthcare. I mean, there's different needs. Obviously, when COVID's here, it was completely different.
Yes.
And so I think that there has been a lot of organization, I guess, to see Langley collaborate. And the board meeting is a great place for different community members and stakeholders to be able to give feedback or suggestions on ways to help Langley kind of implement changes or things that maybe could make things run smoother, better. I know just, we were discussing marketing, and E3 has some marketing struggles or, successes. And so I'm able to share those as a community member in the board meetings and things like that, those collaborations. And most of the board members also, it's the same. And I think it only benefits, honestly, each of us tremendously.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head on that. We're growing quite a bit. I've been here, January was 4 years. So just seeing like you said, the growth in the 4 years that I've been here is tremendous.
Yes.
Tremendous. And I think we're just going to continue growing. Next 4 years will even be bigger, I think. So I'm excited to see the future of it. I'm excited where we have planned, and then I can't wait for the future of it.
Yes.
To close us out a little bit, tell us a little bit, how can how can we contact E3? How can a parent or a school member or a student, how can they contact E3 if they want to learn more about the programs or be part of the program?
So our website is e3familysolutions.org, and we would love to hear from you. All of our contact information is on there. We are in the schools. We have been district approved, and we've been approved by the Department of Education. So whenever you're talking to kids about vulnerable topics, you can't just call a school and say, hey, we want to come talk to your kids. So our curriculum has to be submitted all the way up to the Department of Education, and they review it and approve, and then district, and then schools. And so if a parent wanted to contact us, all of our contact information is on the website.
Perfect.
And we have a great resource page. There's a lot of different resources on there. I would encourage anyone to take a look at that, just for help in most of the things that teens are struggling with nowadays. Yeah. And it's been a pleasure being able to work with the community and learning, even as a parent, and my grandchildren are growing up here now. My grandsons will be starting kindergarten this year coming up. And so I definitely care about Sumter County and the surrounding counties that we're in.
Absolutely. And I could echo that about the website as well. I did visit it earlier last week, and it provides a lot of information about the programs and statistics and contacts and any ways that you need to get contact. The resources are there.
Yes.
So visit their website. If for any Langley Health Services that you want to learn about, you can join langleyhealth.com. But we're going to go ahead and end this episode. So please share, follow, and like us, and stay tuned for the next episode.